2. So that's morning to Sue, who's taking the recording. And let me just bring you all up there. That's it. Right. So we're going to start in seated. And we're going to work towards, we're doing some work on our hips today, and we're going to work towards pigeon pose. So pigeon is quite a strong pose. I'm going to give you a lot of options for it. But is everybody okay this morning? Anybody got any particular issues with hips or anything?
Okay, thanks.
Good, excellent. There's Julie. Morning. So let's mute everybody.
Morning.
Morning. Right. That's it, we're good to go. So we're going to start in a seated position. So find a comfortable seat, which can be a challenge in itself for your hips. And I know that because I've got a bit of a dodgy right hip at the moment. So just be gentle with yourself and find this comfortable seated position. So if sitting cross-legged is too much for you, you can sit with your legs out in front, and you can always use your block behind you. That's really good support, not only for keeping your back straight, but just giving you a little bit more support for your hips so you can let your knees relax down. And if, like me, you've got a dodgy hip, you can put a block underneath that hip, and that helps for your knees as well. So we're just going to sit for a few Ujjayi breaths. So we know Ujjayi. Ujjayi is when we close the back of the throat, or we have that effect of closing the back of the throat. And our breath is really audible. It's like Darth Vader. So as you breathe in, you really hear and feel that breath. And as you breathe out, it's the same. And whilst we sit here, we're going to hold a mudra. And the mudra that I've picked for us today is called Agni Mudra, not agony, Agni, A-G-N-I. Agni means fire, and our thumbs represent fire. So to hold this mudra, just take your right hand and make a fist with your right hand so that your thumb is pointing upwards. And then with your left hand, just open the hand so that the fingers are separated and the palm is facing upwards and the thumb is facing forward. And then we're just going to rest the left hand towards our lap, and the right hand sits on top of the left palm. So remember to keep the fingers separated in the left hand. Thumb is pointing out in front of you, and the right hand has just got the thumbs up gesture. So it's just to showing you close. So the fingers are separated, thumb is facing forward on the left, right hand is pointing up. Okay, I'll explain what this is doing for us in a minute. So find that mudra, relax your hands down into the lap and relax your shoulders, but find that straight spine. And then breathing in through the nose, out through the nose, start to bring in your Ujjayi breath. And if you close your eyes, you can really focus on this breath flowing in and out. And focus on the strength coming from this mudra. And as you breathe in, see if you can do a count of 6. So 6 seconds. And as you breathe out, Try to keep that same length, 6 seconds. Breathing in and out, really strong, deep breaths, Ujjayi breath. So this breath, as well as giving us a sense of calm and settling our bodies before we start our practice, brings some energy and some fire into the body. And this mudra is focusing on the elements, particularly the thumb, the fire element. And it says that by freeing your thumbs from your other fingers, you free the fire element from the influence of the 4 other elements. And this strengthens the nourishing fiery energy that we call Samana Vayu. Holding Agni Mudra can increase your sensations of vitality and energy. And this mudra helps to balance the heat within your body, enhances your willpower and self-confidence. And in the yoga tradition, it's valued for meditation as it centers your energy while filling you with enthusiasm and vitality. You may recognize this as the thumbs up gesture used in the West as a sign that something is a good idea or much liked. Its origins are said to lie in the Roman era, when crowds at gladiator battles voted with their thumbs on whether the winning gladiator should kill his opponent. Thumbs up signified continued life. I'd rather that than the gladiator aspect of it, continued life. So let's do 5 more deep Ujjayi breaths in, breathing in and out, counting to 6. Let go of your Ujjayi breath now. Just let your breath return to normal. Just take a moment to focus on your hands. How are they feeling? Can you feel any strength coming from those hands? Can you feel that fire element bringing you vitality into your body? And then release your mudra. Keep your eyes closed and just rotate your wrists. Just free your fingers. And then with your next exhalation, just drop your chin to your chest. And then as you inhale, blink your eyes open and lift your head. Welcome to class. So let's get some movement going. So if you inhale, reach your hands up and overhead. And as you exhale, twist around to the right. So keep that spine really straight. your gaze is over your right shoulder. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, all the way around to the other side. Take your hands to the left. Gaze is over the left shoulder. Let's do that once more. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale. Exhale to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale the hands to each side, down to the mat at each side of you. So this time as you inhale, reach your right hand up. Find some length in that right side. And as you exhale, reach over towards the left side. So your left hand starts to slide out along the mat. Take a breath here. Inhale, reaching back up. Exhale the hand back to the mat. Inhale, left hand up. Reaching up to the ceiling. Spread your fingers wide. Exhale as you slide your right hand out along the mat. Find that deep stretch to the side of the body. Hold here for one breath. And then inhale, back upright. Exhale and release. So just change the cross of your legs. And we'll just do that side bend with the legs in a different position. It'll feel quite different. So inhale, right hand up. Exhale, reach the left hand over along the mat. Inhale and reach. Exhale, release the right hand. Send the left hand up as you inhale. Exhale, reach over towards the right. So might be feeling a little bit freer now after those few movements. Inhale, back up. Exhale, release. So let's come into all fours. Find your all fours positions. Really spread your hands wide on the mat. Hands under your shoulders, knees under hips. Have your toes into the mat, so keep them strong. Engage your tummy muscles. Inhale. And as you exhale, start to round the spine, pressing the mat away from you, open through the back, cat position. Inhale, exhale and move into cow. So leading with your chin and your chest, send your hips up to the ceiling, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Breathe in, breathe out, come into cat. Really rippling through the spine. Breathe in. Breathe out, cow. Breathe in. Breathe out, cat pose. Breathe in. Breathe out, cow. Breathe in, come to all fours. So release your toes onto the mat. And this time, inhale, engage your tummy muscles. And as you exhale, lift your right knee out to the side. Try to keep your back flat here, so not drop into the left. And then as you inhale, draw your knee over towards your left elbow. Take a breath in, exhale it out to the side. Inhale and draw it in towards the left elbow. So we're doing an internal and external rotation of the hip. Just do that a few more times. Just starting to get some movement into the right hip. Breathe in as you feel that it suits you. Actually, you don't have to follow my breath. It's usually good to add that extra stretch, that opening to the side on an exhalation. Breathing in, breathing out. And then place your knee down on the mat. So just check that flat back position. We're going to do the same on the other side. So take a breath in. Exhale the left leg out to the side. So try not to drop towards the right. We want all this movement to be focused at the top of your left femur into the hip. Inhale and draw in the knee to the right elbow. Exhale it out to the side. Or you just keep breathing. That's the important thing. And bring the knee to the right elbow. And then out to the side without dropping over towards the right hand side. Thinking about that hip, moving an internal and external rotation of the hip. Once more, elbow to knee, and then knee out to the side, and then place it down. So toes back into the mat once more, so your legs are strong. This time, keep your left hand planted, and as you inhale, draw your right hand up and place your right hand behind your head. So it's just resting on the back of your head. Inhale and open that elbow up to the ceiling. Exhale and send it all the way down towards your left wrist. Inhale up, exhale down. So starting to get a little bit of a twist going into the lower body, keeping those hips stable. Once more, opening up. And then this time as you exhale, release the hands and slide it all the way through and rest the right side of your face down to the mat. Thread the needle. Your hips are going up to the ceiling. Reaching away. Just hold here for a moment. And then inhale and bring yourself back upright. Place your hand back underneath your right shoulder. So we're going to do the same on the other side. Take a breath in. Reach your left hand up and place it just behind your head. Your gaze is still down to the mat. And then as you inhale, lift that elbow up to the ceiling. Exhale and dive it all the way down towards your right wrist, sorry. Left elbow to right wrist. Left elbow opens as you inhale. Exhale and draw it down. Once more. Starting to release into your spine. And then inhale, open up. And as you exhale, bring the elbow towards the right wrist and then release the hand all the way through. Take your head down to the mat. So it's good to do this little bit of work on our lower back as well, because sometimes when you've got tight hips, you put an extra load on your lower back. So just easing into the spine and easing into our hips this morning. So lift yourself back up. Come back to your all fours position. Toes are tucked into the mat. And as you inhale, just start to lift your knees and walk your hands back towards your feet. Coming into Uttanasana, forward fold. So if your fingertips are on the floor, that's fine. If you can get your hands on the floor, even better. But start to bend one knee, then the other. And just send the opposite hip up to the ceiling. Allow your head to drop down towards the mat. So it's just a side to side movement, extending through the back of the hamstrings all the way up to the hips. Just working one leg, then the other. And then allow the legs to come back towards straight. If you're on your fingertips, that's fine. Inhale and send your hands out wide and come up with a strong straight spine all the way up. Urdhva Hastasana, upward salute, reaching towards the ceiling. Checking you're not crunching the back of your neck. And then exhale your hands to the heart center. So let's get a little flow going. Let's get a bit more energy flying around the body. So standing at the back of the mat, standing up straight and tall, hands to the heart center. Taking a breath in, reach your hands out wide, reach up and overhead, palms come together. Take them all the way down to the midline as you exhale down to the mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. Well done. Inhale and slide your hands up to your shins, half forward fold. Exhale, hands to the mat, Uttanasana. Drop the top of your head towards the mat. And as you inhale, walk your hands out along the mat, coming into plank pose. So hold this plank just for one breath. Remember our Ujjayi breath from the beginning. You can use your Ujjayi breath when you're in these strong poses. And we're just going to hold for one more breath. And if you want to add in a little option, as you inhale, lift one foot just a few inches away from the mat and exhale it down, or otherwise just stay in your plank. And remember, you can always plank on your knees. So breathing in, lifting the right leg, exhaling it down, breathing in, lifting the left, exhaling it down. Feel how your buttocks are engaging here. Inhale, exhale, lower to the mat. So any way that's right for you, you can take your knees or you can just bend your elbows. Lower to the mat. Release your toes, hands come alongside your chest. Inhale. As you exhale, lift your chest either into low cobra or upward facing dog, whichever is good for you. Balancing on your toes if you're in up dog. Inhale, exhale, send your hips up to the ceiling, downward facing dog. Drop your head through your arms. Just have a little walk with your feet, ease the heels towards the mat, and then let them settle. And we're going to step forward towards our hands or jump, whichever is right for you. If you want to try jumping, bend your knees, send your hips back behind you. Inhale, exhale. Jump towards the front of the mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale and take your hands up to your shins, half forward fold. Exhale, slide down to Uttanasana. Really send those hips up to the ceiling. Inhale, take your hands out wide, come up, strong, straight spine. Reaching up and overhead. Gaze into your palms, protecting the back of your neck. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Not quite finished with this flow. Inhale, reach your hands forward as if you're trying to touch the space between the ceiling and the wall. And as you exhale, sit back into your chair pose. Just hold for one breath. And then release. Hands to the heart center. Everybody okay? Nice and warmed up, hopefully. Maybe a little bit out of breath like me. So let's just get another little bit of movement going with our hips. So we're standing here in Tadasana. Inhale, take your hands out wide, reach up and overhead. Exhale all the way down through the midline, Uttanasana, forward fold. So have your knees bent enough so that you can plant your hands. Inhale, exhale, step your right leg back, then your left leg. You're in downward facing dog. So really plant your hands here. Inhale and send your weight into your left foot and exhale your right leg up behind you, three-legged dog. Drop your head through your arms. As you inhale, draw your right knee up towards your chest, round your spine. Exhale, send that leg away. So you're really working into that right hip. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, send it away. So this is a flexion and an extension of the hip flexors. Inhaling and exhaling. And then once you've done 3, plant your foot back into downward facing dog. Just take a breath here. And then inhale, weight into the left foot. Once more, exhale, right leg up into the air. Same side. Inhale, exhale, bend the right knee. Send the right heel towards the left hip and just drop that heel, opening through that right hip, the front of the right hip. Inhale, draw your leg back towards center. And as you exhale, round the spine, lift the knee, step through. Help it through if you need to. So think about the position of that back leg. We're up on the toes here. We're going to get balanced. We're going to come up into our crescent pose. So take a breath in. Then engage your tummy muscles, release your hands from the mat, lifting your hands up as you exhale. Crescent pose. Bit of a balance, quite strong. Inhale, exhale, sweep the hands back to the mat and drop the back knee. So from this position, your hands are on either side of your right foot. Just slide your left knee back a little bit along the mat. So you're starting to extend through the front of that left leg up into the psoas muscle. And then lift your right hand and place it inside of your right foot. And we're just going to do some movements forward and back, moving like a lizard, really getting in to that right hip. So go as deep as is right for you. Working into that hip. Maybe you can drop your shoulders deep down to the inside of the right knee. And then bring yourself back upright. Bring that left leg, that left knee in a little bit closer. Plant your hands on the mat here. Let's get balanced before we try anything. So taking a deep breath in. As you exhale, lift your left toes up and away from the mat. Now be careful here because that can sometimes trigger a bit of cramp at the back of the hamstring. So if that happens, just release it down and then try it once more. And then as you inhale, sweep your right hand out to the side and take hold of your left foot, opening out the chest. Breathe in, breathe out, release the leg, release the hands to the right side of your right leg, release that right knee, and we're coming to child's pose. So take your knees wide, sink your hips back, extended child's. So really send your hips back towards your heels here. Really feel that stretch through the back body, down into the hips, and with your knees wide, a nice stretch into the inner thighs as well. On your next inhalation, bring yourself back up to all fours, realign your knees, toes into the mat. Exhale, lift your hips, walk your hands back towards your feet. We're back in Uttanasana, forward fold. Drop your head towards the mat. Just take a breath here. Send the hips up to the ceiling. We're going to walk our hands out into downward facing dog. So walk out with your opposite hand this time, not the hand we always lead with. So as you breathe out, walk out into downward facing dog. Inhale, send your weight into your right leg this time. Exhale the left leg up into the air. Drop your head through your arms. Inhale, draw the knee up towards the chest, round the spine. Exhale, send the leg up into the air 3 times. Inhale, knee to chest. Exhale, extend the leg. Inhale, knee to chest. Exhale, extend. Once more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, place your foot back on the mat, downward facing dog. Drop your head through your arms. Just feel into this down dog now. The hips feel a little freer. Can you bring your heels a little closer to the mat? On your next inhalation, send the weight into your right foot once more. Exhale the left leg back up. So we're still working the left side. Inhale, exhale, bend in the left knee, drop the left heel to the right hip, opening through the front of the left hip. Your gaze is under your left arm. Inhale, draw yourself back to the center. Exhale, place your leg, sweep your leg up towards your chest and step it through. Nearly forgot that bit. So we want to step the left leg through into this lunge position. So get yourself balanced, so reposition that back leg. If you need to, you're still up on the back toes. Find the strength and the connection with your left foot. And as you inhale, you're going to sweep your hands up. Come into crescent pose. Exhale as you reach to the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale your hands back to the mat. Drop your right knee to the mat. So we're in this lunge position. So we're going to move into our lizard. So take your left hand to the inside of your left foot and just shimmy your right knee back a bit so that you've got that stretch going on at the front of the psoas muscle into the right hip. And then just work back and forth into your lizard. Easing into those hips. So lovely stretch of the hips. When we get tight hips like this, it's, well, I got a tight hip on my right side. Certainly, it does bring this extra pressure into your lower back. And also, some people say it triggers emotion. And when you release your hips, it can make you feel a little bit emotional. It's a very funny thing. And there is a medical reason for that, and it's because of the muscles that coming up from the hips, and they're going towards your kidneys and the adrenal glands. So as you're moving these muscles and massaging the kidneys and those glands, that can trigger those feelings of emotion. So it's not a surprise that we get that feeling. So bring yourself back to almost upright. So bring in, back into your lunge position. Bring your right knee back under your hip. And we're going to release the right foot from the mat, just lifting it up. Remember that little tip, if you get a little bit of cramp there, just do it a few times first of all. And then inhale and lift the right foot. Exhale the left hand all the way around to meet it. And then release to the mat. And then bring yourself back to all fours. Take your knees wide, toes together. Sink back to your child's pose. Just send the hips all the way back to the heels. Releasing into the hip joint. And find that lovely stretch through the back body at the same time. And then bring yourself back up to all fours. So we're going to try our pigeon pose here. So if you've got a block, just have it handy, just to the side of you on the mat, just to your left side. And from our all fours position, we're going to come into pigeon. So I'm going to give you lots of options, so don't worry. So toes into the mat. Inhale, exhale, lift your hips, come to downward facing dog. So have a nice stretch in down dog before we do anything. Drop your head through your arms. And then on your next inhalation, weight into the left foot. Exhale the right leg up into the air, three-legged dog. Inhale and shift your weight forward. And as you exhale, lift your right knee up towards the chest. Now we're going to place the knee down on the floor behind our right hand, and the right heel goes over towards the left. So as you do this, that does become quite a strong stretch on the hip and also on the knee. So if that is no good for you, keep your foot tracking behind the right knee, so you can still do pigeon like this with the right leg behind. So you choose which position you want to be in, and then release the left knee down to the mat, and just sort of walk that left leg back behind you, sending the toes behind. Walk the hands back alongside your legs, and as you do that, lift your chest. So squeeze your shoulder blades together, lift your head and your neck out of your shoulders. This is proud pigeon pose, Kapotanasana. Breathing in. Now, if this feels as though your right hip is just hanging here, then just grab hold of the block and slide it underneath the right hip. And you can rest that hip back on the block, and that helps you to lift your chest and get a little bit of a deeper stretch here down into the back of the hips, into the buttock area. So don't worry if you're not getting that hip towards the floor. If it does come down towards the floor, then obviously that is even more intense. So you can stay here for a few breaths, just holding your pigeon. If you want to try a little bit more advanced, walk your hands up towards your right thigh. So we're resting on the right thigh. Keep your shoulders relaxed, engage your tummy muscles. Inhale, exhale. And if you want to try an even more advanced, you can take your hands away from your thigh and bring them to the heart center. Bit more intense on the lower back and into the hips. So only do it if that feels good for you. And then release. And then walk that left toes back towards, just a little bit further towards your right heel, just enough so that you can lay your chest forward on the mat and release down. Reclined pigeon. Well done. Inhale as you bring yourself back upright. Left toes into the mat. Lift your right knee and heel and release back into all fours. And just have a little shimmy from side to side. Just ease out. Move whichever way feels good. And we're going to try it on the left-hand side. So hands planted underneath your shoulders. Inhale, toes into the mat. Exhale, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Drop your head through your arms. Inhale, send your weight into your right foot this time, and exhale the left leg up into the air. Inhale and shift your weight forward, draw the left knee up towards your chest. So remember the options, the knee goes behind the left hand, or with the right foot out to the side, or you can keep the leg just, tracking behind it. I'm not explaining that very well. The left knee can go behind the left foot, and the left the left knee behind the left hand, and the left foot is behind the left knee. So we're keeping it straight, in other words, you're not sending it out to the side. You decide. And if you understood that, amazing. And then just start to shimmy that right foot back until you can send your left hip towards the mat. Remember, grab hold of one of your blocks, put it under that hip if that's not feeling good for you. And you can have your block up quite high here too. If you've got a brick, you can sit on the brick. You can still get to that pigeon pose using the blocks. You'll still get that extension through the front of the chest. So you do what's right for you. And if you can, bring your hands towards your knee and lift your chest. Proud pigeon. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Lift the chest. Just having a little look at you all. That's it. So remember the options here. You can stay here in pigeon, or if you feel that you can get a little bit more balanced, you can take your hands to your left thigh. So rest in the hands on the thigh. A bit more intense at the front of the right hip here. Stay here, keep breathing. And if you want to try the full pigeon pose, then take a breath in, engage your tummy muscles, get that strength in your core before you release your hands to the heart center. And then take them back to the mat. Just release the back foot just a little bit to allow you to rest forward. Resting your forehead down. That's the best version of pigeon, isn't it? The relaxed pigeon. Well done. Bring yourself back up slowly to this pigeon pose. Bring your right leg in, release your left knee. So come back to your all fours and just have a bit of a wiggle here with the hips. Just make whatever shape is good for you. And circles with the hips, maybe figure of 8, back and forth. Just easing out. Well done. And then bring yourself back up to a seated position. And we're going to take our heels out towards the right hand side and just sort of separate your feet here. So we're going to make this shape. It's called 90-90. So your right heel is out to the side. Your left heel is going towards your right knee. Bit like the Isle of Man flag. So try and get a 90-degree angle between your femur, your upper leg, and your lower leg on both sides. So you're sending the knee and the heels away from you. And then just rest back into your hands, relaxing your knees down into the mat. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Lift your chest. Take a breath in. Lift the knees up and away from the mat. And then as you exhale, drop them towards the right side. So you might need to just reposition your hands a little bit. So as you do this, inhaling up and exhaling down. The foot and the knee should land next to each other each time. Just rolling through the hips, releasing the joints. Again, the added bonus of lifting the chest and squeezing the shoulders at the same time. So just do that once more. And then bring yourself back to seated. And we're going to just take the soles of our feet together in Kapotanasana. So just interlace your hands around your toes and just work into this upright position. Relax your shoulders. Just allow your knees to drop out to the side. So Kapotanasana, really good hip opener. And this should feel quite nice now after all those hip stretches. So as you breathe out, see if you can allow your knees to drop a little closer towards the mat. And remember, you can always use your blocks with this as well to just support the legs if this isn't good for you. So remember to sit up straight and tall. We're not rounding the spine here. Relax the shoulders, relax the knees as you breathe out. It's always good to hold a pose for at least a minute or so. That's how you really work into those muscles. And then take your hands to the outside of your legs and help your knees back together. You're going to come down to the mat in semi-supine. So lie out on the mat. Bend your knees, place your feet flat on the floor. And as you inhale, lift your right knee towards your chest and place your right ankle just on the left thigh below the left knee. And then reach your hands through the gap so that your hands are interlacing behind your left thigh. You'll need to lift your left foot up and away from the mat to do this. So with your hands interlaced behind that left thigh, take a breath in. And as you exhale, start to extend the left leg up to the ceiling. Have the foot active. So imagine you're pressing the sole of the left foot to the ceiling. And you can use your right elbow to help to keep that right knee out to the side. So does this pose feel like a pose we've just done? This is Suze Kapotanasana. So reclined pigeon pose. So we're basically doing what we did in pigeon, but lying on the mat. Keep breathing. And the more you do this, the better the full pigeon will feel. So this is a good pose to just practice. If pigeon isn't your favorite, then practice this, and then pigeon will feel so much better. And then release that left foot down to the mat, release the right foot. Just have a little rock from side to side, easing the knees over to the left and the right, and rolling over the backs of the hips. And then we're going to do the same on the right hand side. So right foot is planted into the mat. Inhale, draw the left knee towards your chest. And then as you exhale, Drop the left ankle onto your right thigh. Drop the left knee out to the side. Inhale and take your hands behind the right thigh. Lift your right foot away from the mat to do it. And exhale the right leg up to the ceiling. So that right foot is active, as if you're stamping the foot on the ceiling. Use your left elbow to help to open that left hip. Make sure the back of your head is resting on the mat, so don't tilt your chin up. And see if you can relax into this pose. So use your exhalation to relax that left hip and your shoulders. Relax your shoulders down to the mat. And then release your right foot to the mat. Release the cross of your left leg. Just take your hands to the side of your body and allow your knees to rock gently from side to side. Easing out. Rolling over those hips. And then when you're ready, just extend your legs out along the mat. Grab your layers or your blanket, and we'll just have a few minutes in Shavasana. Lying out on your mat. Have your feet wider than hip distance apart. And drop your heels out, your toes out to the side. Really feel that up into your hips. Have your hands alongside your body, palms facing upwards. A gentle V. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. Just allow yourself these few moments of relaxation. Use your exhalation to release into the mat. All that stretching, all that energetic release of your hips. That stretching, allowing our emotions to melt away. Just remembering that hip openers can be quite challenging. So we just stick with it. We just keep trying to release our hips. When you're ready, bend your knees and plant your feet flat on the floor. And just drop them over towards the right-hand side. Hug them up towards your chest. Give yourself a touch. Slowly blinking your eyes open and bring yourself back to a seated position. So just a short relaxation today, hopefully enough to just make you feel a little bit relaxed but energized at the same time from all of that hip work. So take your hands out to the side. Inhale, reach up and overhead. Reach into the ceiling. Exhale to the heart center. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Namaste. Have a lovely day, everybody.